Hey guys, it's Aaron again. Just apologizing for having the podcast be so late. Just a long week again. Haven't been around to doing my recreational stuff like this. Hopefully though, I will be back on track as of this week, next week, whatever you want to call it. The following episode. Similar to the last episode though, we did record in an awkward fashion where we actually record the news section first. So you will be traveling backwards in time in the second act, I guess. We also chose to skip our third section of the podcast this week, mainly because we had to get going to Anime North, which is what we will be talking about during the podcast for our first part. Hopefully that doesn't bother anyone or anything. And on that note, I suppose we should get this show rolling. So, without further ado, Heaven or Hell, Duel 1, let's rock!
Welcome to the Otaku Bubble Talk Show. And now your hosts, Aaron and Colin.
Man, the usage of the word meta sucks.
I didn't believe him, but he actually started with that. Oh my god.
I'm still mad. I've been thinking about this since last night. For context, this is day 3 of Anime North. And last night we got
No, you can't say this is day 3. You have to feel like, this is day 3, exhausted supplies. Running low on energy.
The star date, what's the star date?
The star date, if it's 0, what's it, 5:29.
Okay, sure. I'll believe that.
Yeah, so this is the last day of
we talked about how I hate the usage of the word meta nowadays.
Yeah, at 11 p.m. when we're driving home.
Because I realized this at 1 o'clock in the morning that your usage of the word meta is cognitive, but it's not exactly representative of the word metagame. As in, when you're playing psychologically against another person.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, so I guess your usage is it's not technically accurate, but it's passable.
Are we really just having a topic about that?
Yeah, I'm still butthurt slightly. By the usage of the word meta, because everyone just says the word meta and doesn't actually mean the word meta.
That's okay. Ridiculous. I'll just leave him as butthurt as possible so I can sleep while we do the podcast. That's my goal today.
So yeah, we're tired as shit, but for you, the adoring viewers, all one of you.
You guys are all fucking good with sleep, and we're recording this early.
So
before we go. Not as early as
welcome
yesterday.
Welcome to the Otaku Bubble Talk Show.
Welcome to the Otaku Bubble Talk Show, but I think the bubbles has
burst.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Aaron, I guess.
And I'm the other host, Colin. A little more tired than usual.
And we talk about being tired.
We talk about being tired while being tired.
Okay, so Colin, what have you done this week?
What have we done this week? We just went to Anime North with you the last 2 days.
Oh, has that been your whole week?
Oh yeah.
Is that the most interesting stuff?
Yeah. What else did I think I just played the shit out of Stellar Glow. That's about it. I've progressed pretty far.
So what's Stellar Glow for those of you?
Oh, okay. So Stellar Glow is this kind of obscure RPG.
Tactics RPG.
Tactics SRPG, I guess you could call. And it's done by, what is it? Nippon...
Image Epoch.
Image Epoch, sorry.
But
Image Epoch who went bankrupt. And so they kind of just made this while they were going bankrupt. And so it's known as their swan song.
And their CEO just ran off. That's my favorite story about Image Epoch. It's what happened to the company in the end? Oh, the CEO just ran off with a bunch of money.
Yeah, nice, guys. But it's a pretty good game. Most people review it as okay, the combat's not the most in depth on Fire Emblem, but the art style and story isn't that bad with the characters.
I'm sorry, Fire Emblem does not have in-depth combat. I don't think it ever has and ever will.
It's not more that strategic. I thought the entire point was that Fire Emblem is more strategic.
It's the iconic SRPG, but it's also one of the most basic. But I mean,
I could imagine Stella Glow even more basic, but like yeah, Stella Glow's combat is like it's okay. Like it's really good if you haven't played SRPGs before. So that's why I really like it. I'm like, okay, I can get like the handle of this SRPG. But then like going to something like Valkyria Chronicles, I'm like, okay, this is the 5th mission. I've died about 3 times in a row. You know what? Fuck this.
Alright. Let's say the anime North talk for like the end, so it's happening.
Okay. And then besides that, I guess like, continue back on Monogatari 2nd season. But haven't been too far. It's good. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk a bit about this thing that high schoolers do called prom.
Yeah.
And
you into it.
Because I've got like shit to rant about. And basically it was just like a clown shoes mess that day because the
clown fiesta.
Because you know how the weather so the weather that day, which was a Thursday, was like the most BS thing on the planet. And so when you're trying to get photos and stuff and it starts raining on and off, it's just awful. Our party bus, air quotes, we ordered a party bus, and on this party bus, like there's a bunch of cool shit, like a disco thing, and speakers, and like an arcade setup of Marvel vs. Capcom 1.
That's cool.
But they didn't show us the outside, and the outside just looks awful.
Yeah.
So
party, but oh wow, this did not look good.
Yeah. It was basically a converged school bus. And yeah, it was just bad. But no, I played Marvel vs. Capcom 1.
Yeah, was that fun?
Well, I'm one of those guys who likes to learn things. And so when you're kind of, what's the word, inebriated and like, you're trying to learn things like half drunk, kind of. And not only are you half drunk, but everyone's just like spamming buttons, and it's like, okay, you're the only guy going like, okay, what's the quarter circle? What's the Shoryuken motion?
Yeah.
And yeah, expect to lose. Besides that, what else have I been doing? Suikoden 1 still. I'm killing
You're
myself.
still trying.
I'm still trying. I've been watching, like, still going through, what was it? Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory.
Oh, yeah.
Still okay. Like, it's not the best easily, but it's definitely not the worst. Because Gundam has some shit shows, and Gundam has some amazing shows.
We prefer not to talk about the bad ones.
Well, I mean, we've talked about Double I feel like every episode of the podcast. And for that reference, we're going to keep going. Okay, so do you want to get into the anime North talk?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Well, if there's anything else we're missing, I'll add it on next week.
Alright. I guess, should we just do like kind of like a brief, just what
overall
we've seen everybody?
Okay. Generic overview.
It's fucking mess.
Well, Anime North has always been like a clown shoot car, but the clown shoot car has been.
Clown, yes. Yeah, I don't know.
This year it's been particularly.
I think
good.
this year the panels have just been particularly weird and like not organized well, because it's like the panels are, there was nothing at the Sheraton that I saw whatsoever, like that seemed interesting.
But you showed up to a bunch of panels, right?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of panels, but it's like there's so few that like I think the only thing that like I wish I could have gone is like the 404. That's the only other panels I would have liked to see.
Okay, so I'll get into that.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into that?
Sure.
All right, so I don't really know what I didn't really know what the 404s were before. Like I had a basic understanding of what they were, which is like anime-based improv.
Yeah.
But I didn't really understand it until like This year, yeah. And so I went to my first 404. I popped my 404 cherry.
Yeah.
And they were amaze balls, and I was super impressed. Then I showed up again later that night to watch them some more, and they were still amaze balls. And then I participated in their improv workshop, and that was amazeballs. Overall, they've been making my con experience more enjoyable than ever.
Go watch the improvs.
Yeah.
Honestly, the reason why we probably haven't seen is because this year we haven't had other panels to fill up.
Yeah, fair enough. Because,
you know what? I think it's probably because there were actually interesting panels that we've gone to.
So, do you want to start from Friday?
Yeah, sure. What did we do on Friday? I think we only saw one.
Well, we went to
panels.
opening ceremonies, which is probably the first time ever I've been to opening ceremonies.
Because nobody goes to the opening ceremony.
I've been going to Anime North for 7 years, and he's been going for 3.
Yeah.
And I don't think in either of those we've been to the opening ceremonies. Those taiko drop guys were super impressive.
Yeah. I saw them. Did you see them outside later?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that was cool.
But that was more me walking.
Yeah, just walking past.
Yeah, and I stopped for a minute to just admire. But yeah. The taiko drum guys were amazing. A performer by the name of Reina Kanata, she was there as well at the.
We saw her today, but it's not Friday.
No.
On Friday we saw the introduction performance. Yeah.
Yeah, she had an introduction performance to show what she's about.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that later, but what she showed us on the Friday was enough to make an impression that we'd go see her on Saturday.
Yeah.
Cool. And then after that, Colin was like, I need to get to a panel. What panel was it?
Wasn't it the... Oh, fuck, heck if I know. What panel was it?
I don't remember, because I just stayed and watched the 404s, and that's where my 404...
The design was today, and... What did I see yesterday? I actually don't remember what I saw on Friday.
Okay.
I don't remember some panel.
But yeah, so I guess you'll take it from my perspective.
Oh yeah, no, it was the really bad fan fiction that I can't get into because I was fucking retarded.
Okay.
Lesson learned. It says 18 plus. You need ID, which I did not bring.
No, that was later. That was at the second 404's panel show.
Oh, second 404? Oh, okay. Then I don't know what I saw then.
No, I think it might have been you just going and doing a dealer's run.
Dealer's run? Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, my 404 cherry was popped, and I'll just give a brief overview of some of the games they played. My favorite improv game now involves 2 pieces of manga.
Yeah. And
it's basically those are your only dialogue options in an improv scene, and then someone just shouts a scene.
Yeah.
There was also a musical number 1 where there's a bartender and 3 characters come on and they have to essentially tell the bartender their problems. Then the bartender sings to them in musical his answer to their problems. Yeah. And it was all anime themed because of Anime North.
Anime, yeah. Of course.
So you'd have, oh, what's your problem? Oh, senpai won't notice me. And then the bartender's find a way to make him notice you, and then in musical form. And the guy who comes in, the customer, is just okay, thanks.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was overall pretty fun.
Yeah.
Then I guess I did my dealer's room run for the first day, and by dealer's room run I mean looking for you.
We catch up for 5 minutes and then I'm gone. And we're we're fucking split up again.
Yeah. So we briefly reunite.
Yeah.
Then we divide again. I go to the second 404's panel, which was they were all every team was themed essentially.
Okay.
And essentially it was anime pop quizzes. But then
was it the big 404 anime quiz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an anime themed pop quiz thing, and they basically took all of the 2015 seasons.
Okay.
And those were your categories.
Okay.
So what was this character in the winter 2015 season from?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Okay, so it's just a quiz.
Yeah, but then they gave if they didn't know an answer, they would respond with something funny. So and you had to write it down on. Okay. So there was this one round where one Team Rockstar just wrote Trump for every answer. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah. What else? And that basically made up
was the
my
same
Friday, except my phone died, and then I was trying to find Colin, and that was like a clown shoes mess. I keep saying clown shoes today.
Clown Fiesta is the right meme.
Clown Fiesta?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you went to what? You didn't go to the fanfiction panel.
Yeah, because they really should put a warning on that. I'm an idiot. Anyways, yeah, so I didn't see that. Instead, I saw this really weird Funimation thing. It was hilarious though. Like,
oh, that is that.
It was the thing where it shot all the like most perverted Funimation shows.
Okay, that was the thing where you learned about what Zombie Deska and Oni Island.
I learned Oni Island, Zombie Deska. I just saw on my own. I was just checking other stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, is this the zombie thing? I'm like, okay.
Is this a zombie?
Literally.
This is literally the name of the show.
Yeah, but the Funimation was great. I just at the end, it's like, all right, time to play. Guess them titties, and if you win, you get like this Opie fan, and you get.
Okay, that's amazing.
It's hilarious, and I mean, it's hilarious just because like all they did is just like they zoomed in super close on the tits, and they're like guessing. It's like slowly zooms out. And I appreciate the uncensorship of it. So
okay. Then Saturday rolled around. Wake up at like 6 o'clock. Then
get back.
I had actually lost my pass, so I need to go.
So I needed to go
to like get a new
everything
pass.
Started like an hour later because apparently everything always starts at 10, which we have now learned. It opens at 9, but that's just pin.
Well, yeah, that's always how it is.
Yeah.
But
so our reading to need.
Then I guess I did a bit of a dealer's room run. Like, and I did the systematic thing of like go through the row by row by row by row.
I did do that. I would literally just go all the way around and look through like all the stuff.
Okay.
This kind of like
dazed work.
What did they call it? The Junkins walk? Just kind of
just like staggering.
Yep. Just going around.
And then I had to another 404's panel after like an hour of that. Well, actually, no. First, I tried to get into the mecha
creature design,
and then I saw
I was waiting if you like could have seen me. I was like, is Aaron gonna search for me? Because you could have like I would have let you in with like my live spot.
No, but like I just saw this guy holding up the red sign, and I look behind him, and there's like 50 dudes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not getting it. I can tell. That's one of those things where at Anime North they should like plan for that, plan for like okay, which panels are gonna be the most popular.
Yeah, you gotta like really, you have to be like at least like half an hour early if you want to go to those like busy panels.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is that some of the panels that I've seen, are like just barren and like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
That's why
you really have to. You kind of have to like say, I guess, like this is a high. I think it's more like because you should know just because they have usually highlighted in bold, which means there's a special guest.
Yeah.
So those are usually probably more popular.
But I mean, what I'm saying is that you should know your demographic well enough.
Yeah. To
like, okay, we should probably reserve a larger space for this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Instead of like having people just randomly sing on the floor and blocking the exit.
Well, which is weird. It's like the ballrooms are reserved for like shows and stuff, and then they have these tiny rooms for like mecha and monster design. But like everyone wants to go into those, and then the showrooms are barren. It's like why?
I think it's just. I think they just want to make it like a conference, instead of like a convention.
But I like those like kind of tight rooms because I remember we went to like a couple last year, and we sat in those rooms and it's like really comfy. And they don't need mics; they can just talk.
Yeah, that's it. Always depends on your audience.
Yeah,
and something that's gonna be super popular, give the guy a bigger room.
Yeah.
Then I was at the 404s because I was like, okay, I'm not getting in, so I'm going over to the other 404s thing, and that was an improvisation workshop.
Yeah.
learned some improv stuff. Actually learned. And yeah, right after that, I tried to get into the voice acting panel, and that failed. Which is like voice acting auditions, rather.
Okay.
Because like they would give you essentially a script is basically what they said they were going to do, and then you try and interpret the lines. And the problem,
cool.
Well, I didn't get in though. That's the problem. Yeah. And the problem is that every one of these panels, like you'll have people who aren't participating.
Yeah.
And it's like you could give that spot to someone else, but you're not going to. You just want to watch.
Oh yeah.
And it's like give it to people who are going to actually take something away from it.
Yeah.
Instead of just hogging a spot, but I'm not going to bitch about that. I'm better than that. Then what happened? Then after that, I met up with Eugene.
Yeah.
And then we came and crashed your Chica and Zai panel.
Fuckers need to get out. They crashed my cheek. It was weird because the plaza ones, it's really like uncivil. Like you can walk in and out of the ballroom ones. It's like the only rooms where like they'll let you in after, and I find that so strange. But it's okay, I guess because they're really big.
Yeah, so, I think that's the thing.
Yeah, but like the Chica and Zai was really fun. That was a good panel. It was full, like the questions were like kind of like generic, but then there were some really interesting ones. Like, hey, Chica and Zai, you played Chaika, the Coffin Princess, who wields like a magic sniper rifle. Would you ever consider going really sniping in real life? It's like, okay. that was an interesting question. What's some of the other ones?
You really liked the Chaika Chai, which is...
That was a request though. I'm trying to think of the question.
For context.
I recorded like two of the... I recorded the sniper question because that was hilarious. And there was some other stuff I recorded just because I wanted to record some good questions. And a lot of it was just like, hey, how'd you feel in this role? Oh, they had a really good one about like what she thought of like the Yuri romance. So like, oh, you think that's like Yuri or something? He's like, no, it's just friendship. Like that's what they all say.
So
there was the request of like the some guy was just like, hey, so in Love Live, Nico has her whole Nico Ni like phrase. So he was just like, can we get like, could you say that in like the Chaika voice? And then I rushed to pull out my phone, but my phone was retarded, and then I missed recording like the voice actor of Chaika. He's just like Chaika. I'm like, oh my god, at least I witnessed the moment because that was fucking amazing.
Well, sometimes you have to live in the moment instead of like recording it and then watching it after. So speaking of voice actors, we did a lunch run.
Yeah.
And then I decided I wanted to crash another voice acting panel, and I had no idea what I was in for.
Yeah.
Because I like Idolmaster. I don't know any of the voice actors.
Yeah.
And so it was Asami Shimoda and Akiko Hasegawa, and they voiced two of the characters in Idolmaster. Hail to Harada. Yeah, it was a good panel. It just wasn't for me. But I managed to ask my stupid questions, just for the, and understand that I was asking troll questions.
Aaron's a fucking troll.
But then I asked a serious question, which was like, oh, what were your inspirations? Why did you get into like seiyuu, being a seiyuu or being an idol?
Yeah.
It was an interesting panel, I guess. And then what happened after that? No, I did another dealer's room run. I called Colin and Eugene. They were at the Sheraton at the time.
Yeah. We were like went to check out Del North because Eugene usually goes to see that, and so I just went with him, and then we went to the Sheraton after, and we watched some stuff, played some stuff.
Okay. And
I need to like just go by the Sheraton sometimes because it's fun. You get to see like some of the like speed runners.
Yeah.
They're not like professional, but it's just fun to be in the audience.
What'd they do?
The one we saw was playing Super Mario 64.
Oh, that's a good speed run. What do you call it? Well, so I did another dealer room run, and I met up with a guy who technically goes to our school, but he doesn't really. He's like on a victory lap. So that was cool, just hanging out with him, talking about pocket watches. And then I was walking out to get to the next 404 panel, which seems to be my whole con experience now that I think about it. And then I stopped because in Anime North there's like a you can buy out like advertising space area for like your company or whatever, and that's like a whole row. And so like you have like the Toronto Japanese Language School, or like a Kickstarter campaign for like a anime, and it's actually being done by a character designer on Attack on Titan. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Though I'm not sure if it'll have like the shitty cardboard cutout like outlines. But her character designs looked decent, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll put money into that. I don't know. But I passed this place called Uncle Tetsu's Cafe or something like that, and basically what that is like
it's a maid cafe.
It's a maid cafe.
I never went to a maid cafe.
Well, I didn't actually go to the maid cafe. I passed by the maid cafe.
It was just by the advertising.
And so I was like, huh. And I genuinely mock maid cafes constantly. But I was just curious, so I just like walked a little closer. Yeah. And then one of the maids just says to me in English, and she's clearly Japanese. All of them are clearly Japanese. Yeah. And English. She's like, oh, do you want to have a handout? And I'm like, and our card. And I was like, okay, sure. I was just reading at the time. And I was like, okay, why not? Take the card. And I read it over for a second. And she's like, oh, do you want to take a picture with us? Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is not my style. And then, so, the two maids, because like there's like 10 of them there. Yeah. Two of the maids just pull me into like the camera shot. Yeah. And then they do like a cute moe little two hands up in fingers. Yeah. And I do the weird peace signs as well. And then I'm super awkward about it, so I'm like, hey. And they do a cheese. And I was like, okay, wait, I've got an idea. And then so they're like, oh, do you want to retake the picture? And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Okay, so basically what I want to do is, do you guys know what JoJo is? And then they go, oh, JoJo sugoi! And then one of them is like, okay, do you know how to JoJo pose? And I was like, hi. And then so I'm like, okay. I go into Jonathan, and then the girl on my right goes into Jonathan. And I'm like, hold on. You're going into Jonathan? Okay, I'll do Josuke then. And then so I do this, which is like the Josuke pose with like the two hands stretched out, pointing inward. And then already to my left, someone's just assuming the Jotaro point. The other maid, rather, is assuming the Jotaro point. And so you've got the Jotaro point, the Josuke, hands up in the air, and then the Jonathan, like, one hand in front, one hand to the side. Yeah. It was good. And I think I've got a new background picture on Facebook.
That's something worth remembering. Your maid's doing your JoJo poses.
Take something that's totally not your style and then
change it to your style. This is my jam.
This is my distance. And then so I went to the 404 Civil War panel, which was essentially like a battle royale of improv style acting, and basically what it was is you get a scene, the name of a scene, how many people can participate, and like a time limit essentially, and you have to work out a scene with that, and that was really cool. By the end, it was an amazing comeback. So like basically it was 4 teams, 2 teams lost in the first 2 rounds, and in the last 2 rounds it was like a super even match all the way forward, because they did 8 rounds essentially. Yeah. The red team, the blue team won 3 rounds in a row, and it looked like they were going to be the clear winners. Yeah. But then the red team wins 1, then the blue team wins 1, and it's like, okay, it's basically set and stuff. The red team takes like all 3 of the next rounds, and so now we're taking up time with the other panels, and it's like a 4-on-4. Yeah. Like 4 points total. And then they do a speed round of like mini scenes, and then it's still evenly matched. And then they do one more, I guess, scene, and then the red team takes it. And so they get a Daniel Bryan wrestling chant going, okay, yes, 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 as we all leave the panel room, and that was pretty funny. He was hanging out with like these guys, and who I didn't know. I should probably mention, and they just let me squeeze in line. So okay, you guys are cool. And one of them has a name that's really close to Setsuna's real name, Soran Ibrahim.
Yeah.
So I got a kick out of that. And so what was it? No, but one of them had the Marble Pop soda things. And
Yeah.
For context, like if you know like what the Marble Pop soda is, you know how you're supposed to open it with like the bottle cap and you push down.
Yeah.
He threw out his cap though, and so I'm like, okay, you're not gonna be able to open this. Like, try as you might, you will not. And then, so all of his friends who are like, I'm a scrawny little piece of shit. All of his friends are like relatively well built.
Yeah.
And they're all pushing down on this thing, and it's not working. Then someone just pulls out a pen and starts like furiously mashing it. And I said, all your repetitive hand motions will not save you. Then one guy, probably the biggest of them, just takes this tiny little pen, starts smashing it in. It breaks the pen as the marble falls.
Yeah.
And like ink and like glass is like pouring into this thing. And it's like, here, drink. And then the guy just drinks it. It was amazing.
Balls to the walls.
And then I met up with Colin and Eugene, who.
Yeah.
We didn't mention this earlier. We just said Eugene, but Eugene is our friend.
Yeah. Sorry, Eugene's our white kid.
Our white kid friend. And we met with him for like food, and then we went to see Reina Kanata, I guess.
That's fun.
Reina
A
Kanata.
box that was surpassing Metal Gear.
Oh yeah,
Like
I didn't see
Reina's
that.
cosplay. Yeah, there was just this one guy in the middle, on the way to one of my panels I was seeing with Eugene. It was just this guy just lying sideways in a box, and he's just got written on the side, a box that was surpassing Metal Gear. Yeah, that's great.
I met the guy before Reina Kanata who did the to be continued JoJo thing.
Yeah. So we saw that. So yeah, Aaron finally met our other guy. I saw him like the previous day, and I was just wondering if I talked to him, and Aaron's like, oh yeah. So we actually saw him, and then we recorded. I had to record. There was some other guy that wanted me to record too, so I was holding two phones, and I fucked up Aaron's because Aaron's button was a little smaller to press. But it was good.
But what
just
happened was I was like, oh shoot, you're the to be continued guy. Hey, can you do a little? Can I film a bit with you?
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, sure. And a guy's watching, and he clearly wants to get in. And I'm like, okay, you're in too. And so yeah, that was fun. I just like. I like the spontaneity of it. I need a roundabout. But no, we saw Reina Kanata, and that was pretty good, I'd say.
That was really good. I think we'd talk more, but it's a lot to talk about because the performance is like really unique and a combination of a lot of cultural stuff.
Yeah, it's a combination of like stage combat, like Western stage combat, kabuki, Rakugo, it's like all of those combined. And so that was like right up my alley. One thing I will say about the performance, it was like a retelling of like a old Japanese, I guess, story apparently. Yeah. But one of my problems with it was that I would have preferred to see it like downtown or something like that.
Yeah.
Because the convention space and like the way people act like at a convention.
Oh yeah.
Is like really douchebaggy.
Really kind of like too chill and stuff. But yeah, that's all it was. I know what you mean. Just like kind of the whole like theater side of it just didn't feel as good just because people kept coming in and out and stuff. It would have been better if it was just like it was theater.
Yeah, it was
actual theater. So yeah. Anyways, if you ever like get a chance to see Reina Kanata, like
she doesn't perform normally in Canada or like anywhere abroad. She just plays mainly in Japan.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, you probably won't. See her.
If you do have a chance and she's in your area, go see her.
Yeah, but what I'll say is, I mean, we have to wrap up this section.
Yeah, okay, we're wrapping it up, right? Wrapping it up because we got some scrambled eggs to eat.
Okay. Hold on, hold your horses.
Settle transition.
We're back, technically. I mean, we are recording in the past again to save the future.
And we're back from the segment that we haven't recorded yet.
Yep.
Ah, yes, weird time trips.
Yep. All according to Kikaku.
It's like, wait a minute, we don't even have a plan for this shit.
Yeah. Normally do we ever have a plan?
We just go with whatever we're going. Oh yeah, this works out. Okay.
Anyway, oh god, it's hot out today. That's where my headspace is at. And the reason why we're
I can't take it.
Context. The reason why we're recording in such a weird way is because Anime North starts today.
North, we're going. Fuck you, fuck this podcast. I'm out.
Yep, that's the end of the podcast.
Gone.
So we will be leaving eventually. So we wanted to get the news done first.
Yes.
So
we're recording this literally like right before we go.
Yeah, and we're also recording not in our general space, so the audio might
We're recording
suck.
at my place today.
Yep. So what do you want to start? Okay, let's just start with Koei because we really like Koei. I think.
What's that about?
So, allegedly, there's a top secret project Koei Tecmo has been working on that will be announced at E3. There's a couple ways to interpret this.
Woo. Or boo or woo.
Yeah, because the main reason being, what do you call it?
They already have Neo and...
We don't have a Tokiden 2 English announcement. That's what my thought is. Because,
New IP fucks over Tokiden 2.
No, as in like, what's the word? Tokiden 2 is going to be the secret reveal because we don't have an English localization yet. And I don't want it to be that.
What? But that's not a new IP though. Does that count as a new IP?
Yeah. Well, they said new project technically. Did they say new IP?
It says top secret title at the show.
So that could be anything. So that could be Tokiden 2, possibly. We do know that they are working in secret. They've been working in secret on a Western IP, and they said it's going to be the biggest one that they've handled yet. So a lot of people are saying Star Wars or Marvel because those seem like the big ones that they're...
Well, I'd probably lean to Marvel because Star Wars Battlefront came out.
And that's EA's, and EA probably has the publishing rights.
That did not do well anyways.
Well, that's a different company.
Okay.
But
probably not Star Wars just because,
EA does own the rights. And that would require EA having to make a kind of deal with anybody.
Which nobody wants to do.
Which EA doesn't want to do.
No one wants to do with
Marvel. And the Marvel license, of course, has just gone up in the air. Same with Disney. Well, actually, hold on. If they licensed Star Wars the same way that they licensed Star Wars out to EA, then technically they wouldn't need to go through EA. But maybe. I don't know.
Go through Disney again.
There's a couple other things, I suppose, that it could possibly be Dynasty Warriors 9, which they've teased for ages, but we got nothing on. And it could just be something completely different altogether.
It's just a prize. It's like, it's Last Guardian! We're working on it now! What the fuck?
Yeah, Fumito Ueda, he's just gone.
Yeah. He's like a fucking development helper.
Yeah. Neo's been in development longer than Last Guardian, for context. And Final Fantasy 15 beats out both of them, I think.
Final Fantasy 15.
So yeah.
So just new IP and...
don't know how to be excited yet.
Yeah, we have no idea where they're gonna pull out. So.
Watch it be Crimson C3. No one knows what the fuck that is.
Nobody knows what the fuck Crimson Sea is.
2 people know, and they're probably not listening to this podcast. Speaking of Koei Tecmo, there's a division of Koei Tecmo called Gust. And as we announced or talked about last week,
they have the new
Atelier game to show off.
And now it's been announced it's called Firis, which is put an F in front of Iris.
Yeah.
Go tell your joke now.
Wow, that's a shitty transition. No, me and Colin were talking about this on like Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey Colin, how do you come up with the name for a new Atelier game?
You put an F in front of one of the previous games.
Yeah, Iris becomes Firis, and then
Shally becomes Fally.
And then I said, oh, Atelier Phallic, Alchemists of the Dusk Disc. Dusk Dick. Yep. Alchemists of the Mysterious Dick.
Mysterious. That's how.
Yeah, fuck.
That's how you get.
Yeah, so I don't know. I assume it's just gonna be Atelier as it normally is. Like, Atelier is basically the Call of Duty of JRPGs.
It's different though. The entire like game progression system, what they've changed is that instead of going to a hub town, they now have the hub town moving with you, which is completely different.
What, the hub town moves with you?
Yeah, essentially you have a magical tent, I think, that acts as your room for alchemy.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. So instead of like going to your main town where you do your alchemy in your room, now you're traveling around and you just carry your essential like workshop with you.
Oh, that's
really cool.
That's really cool. Yeah. Did you listen to the dub for Sophie? Because
I haven't actually.
It's not like Eska and Laji's where it's like partially voiced. Like almost the whole thing is voice acting for Sophie's.
Because that's why my problem with JRPGs is when they do like the English dubs and they voice like half of the stuff. It's like half of the text is just bling bling. I'm like, or I could listen with voices.
Persona 4 kind of does that, but like the Japanese version's the same way.
Yeah.
So you're not really getting a different experience. So overall, hype for phallic, hype for phallic, hype for Atelier Phallic.
I like it. It's also got that environment obstacle thing where it's got like this. It's kind of like RPG. You can do it this way or another way. Where it's like, the example they gave, it's like, you could either cross this bridge by fixing it or going around. So that's another
Okay,
thing
what's like,
really fun.
What do they mean by like fixing the bridge? So like
I'd assume you get like the materials by fighting mobs or something.
Okay.
And then maybe you like craft what you need.
Yeah, that's true because Atelier is kind of like Monster Hunter, isn't it? Where like it's resource
you get
intensive.
Your resources from the monsters, like you go farm it and then you go make whatever things you have from the what do they call them? From like the books, I guess the recipe books.
Okay, yeah. So you're collecting books and you're collecting,
and then you collect materials to make stuff. That's cool.
I can't say I'm particularly interested. I looked at the voice cast for this game, like for the Japanese dub. Not any notables there. Overall,
Atelier hasn't really big one for big voices. Usually they might have like one or two. Like they had like Johnny Young Bosch and that show.
Oh, I meant as in for the Japanese dub.
Yeah.
I remember Laji was voiced by, who was it? He was voiced by what's his name? Kaito Ishikawa. He's the guy who he's the current voice for Saint Seiya.
Oh yeah.
He's done a couple other things. He's pretty notable. But like I looked up the cast for Sophie. I mean, not Sophie. Firis.
There's like nothing.
Yeah, they've done like 2 roles, both of the leads. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Maybe they're uprising stars.
Yeah, maybe. Sora Amamiya didn't become popular overnight. All right. So speaking of RPGs, but these are more Western RPGs.
This is an RPG of skill.
So a Twitch streamer beat Dark Souls 3's first boss using a DDR pad.
That's fucking sick.
That's a G right there.
If that's not the best news we've had yet, I don't know what is.
I mean, there's stuff that we're hyped for. Let's not discredit our hype too much.
Okay.
But this is a cool thing.
This is some cool shit. Let's see him play Persona 5 with DDR.
Well, that's easier, I think.
Yeah, because you just have to go through the
menus. But I can imagine someone.
Imagine just like fucking up all the preemptive attacks.
Yeah.
Just like go, fuck. Forward plus.
Whatever. Okay, hold on. Give us a second.
Yeah.
So phone shenanigans.
Phone fucked us over. Fucking technology.
Yeah.
Never should have been invented.
It's not like we're addicted or anything.
not like we're on our laptops right now or anything.
Recording a podcast that we're gonna upload to the internet.
Just the ultimate irony.
Yep. What were we talking about? DDR. So what's the name of the guy? His name's like Rudism or something like that.
Oh,
Props to you, good sir.
Props to that guy.
And he's doing a whole run of...
Yeah, Rudism. That's pretty sick. But that's gonna be... I think it's actually easier against a boss because a boss is only one. Where eventually when you face multiple enemies...
Well, I mean, he is doing a full run. He's doing a full run of the game with a DDR pad.
It doesn't mean he's not gonna die.
Yeah. Alright. So, speaking of, I guess...
More video games.
No good segment transition here. Or, well... No,
Speaking of fighting stuff.
Wait, hold on. Let's connect the dots, okay? Dark Souls was published by Kadokawa. Kadokawa has worked with Nippon Ichi. Nippon Ichi used to publish games for Atlas in Europe. And Atlas is currently publishing King of Fighters 14 in North America.
There we go.
Genius!
All around.
It took us a minute, but we did it.
So King of Fighters got their premium edition.
Yeah, Big Dick premium edition.
Big Dick 3 disc
soundtrack. Well, I do own the 4-disc soundtrack for 13. Yeah. So, I mean...
Soundtracks. Holy shit.
Have you listened to King of Fighters music?
Nope. I don't particularly listen to fighting game music.
Oh, I love fighting game music. Like...
I like my RPGs.
Yeah, I do like RPG music, but I like fighting game music for like when I need to get pumped or something. Like, come on, when Gal's theme just starts going, it's the best. So yeah, what's exactly in the limited edition? Hold on, give me a second.
Okay, so the limited edition, you get you get the game, the soundtrack, you get an art book, and you get a steelbook case and a collector's box.
For big dicks only.
Yeah. Big dicks only.
Yep.
Only if you're 4-inch.
Yep. So looks hype. I'm super hype. They showed off also as well. This isn't technically a Docket thing, but I'm putting it on at the last second. They showed off how in Japan they're gonna have like an arcade test. Something that like Street Fighter V didn't have.
Oh yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting. And they showed off like, you're gonna have 33 playable characters.
Oh,
so
cool.
Yeah, more than Street Fighter can do. So hey.
I think arcade kind of tests are good, just because most people will be playing on a fighting pad anyways.
Yeah.
So if you play with an arcade, like, I guess this is kind of, I don't know if this is accurate or not. But if I remember, playing on an arcade is like more accurate than playing on a stick connected to a TV.
Technically it is.
Yeah, there's like less input lag.
Yeah. That just reminds me of how during Evil Grand Finals last year on SF4, one guy's stick literally disconnected in the middle of Grand Finals.
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah, and the company that manufactured this stick was like, tweet our stick. It's really hype. It's in Grand Finals right now. And then it disconnects. And everyone's
worst, like, public just seeing.
Yeah, public, like, bashing. And then it happened with the same company's stick.
Yeah.
At, what was it? It was it was the Capcom Cup Finals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean.
And so that company went bankrupt.
Well, basically what they're doing now is they're sponsoring the teams, but they're saying, okay, you can buy like a Mad Cat stick or whatever.
Just buy something else. Fuck our sticks.
And then just put our label on your stick. It's literally one of those situations. But yeah, we're kind of getting away from King of Fighters. But yeah, I really like King of Fighters a lot. I think I like King of Fighters way more than like I actually like Street Fighter or like Mortal Kombat. Mainly because...
I don't give a shit about it.
Mainly because I really like the cast and how weird they are. Because, like, I don't know.
You don't get your luchador laughter anywhere else.
Well, he used to be a luchador eagle. and then he became a luchador.
Luchador Raptor is so much better though.
Yeah. And you don't get like Ryu and Ken are cool. I like Kyo and Iori more.
Yeah.
Because Iori is like, you're a fucking piece of shit, Kyo. And Kyo's like, dude, I did nothing to mess with you. And Iori's like, I'm gonna kill you, Kyo. Iori is basically a yandere. But yeah. Speaking of, I guess, Steelbook art cases. You know what steel is? Steel is metal. And it's gonna be... Okay, alright, hold on.
Steel. You know what steel is? You know what metals involve? People. Fullmetal Alchemist.
It's a full metal Steelbook art case. Okay, so the actual topic is, oh god, Fullmetal Alchemist. Warner Brothers Japan has announced that Fullmetal
Alchemist live action movie
is happening in Japan. It's not like a Hollywood adaptation. It's like a Japan oriented thing.
Yeah.
So like all the actors are Japanese, though it's allegedly going to take place in Europe, unlike the Attack on Titan movie.
Well, I think that makes a little more sense. Well, because the Attack on Titan movie is like, keep in mind that's a completely isolated city.
No, I meant as in like the Attack on Titan live action movie.
Oh.
That where it like takes place in like shitty Japan, and like.
Yeah. Wait. Does it take place in Europe?
Yes, it does. It takes place in Japan.
Okay.
It's really bad.
I don't know.
Fuck.
I mean CG, I guess, but I think Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, it's a Japanese cast. They're shooting it in Europe, allegedly.
Yeah, that makes sense because the entire like structure of all the setting in Fullmetal Alchemist is pretty British.
Yeah, and British, I'd say. The only thing though is like the actual, like the names are British. I'd say like Edward Elric sounds super British.
No, because I think the entire thing is very British setting. Like you can see the main town they have.
Yeah,
in the city is.
But I feel like the costume design is very reminiscent of like pre-World War I Germany. Yeah. More so than it is of Britain, because like in history we're like doing like a whole thing on like.
I mean, we have Russians in this fucking Fullmetal Alchemist.
Fair enough.
We literally have Russia.
Yeah. I don't really have much to say on this because don't fuck it up.
What's hilarious is that they were just talking about the whole fan problem of white people being casted in Ghost in the Shell. Oh, so now they've got that double standard of like, so like this white shell of Fullmetal Alchemist is gonna be like casted by Japanese people. Edward Elric is white. It's just this double standard fucking ridiculousness.
I'm not gonna spend too much time on Ghost in the Shell. I think Scarlett Johansson was an okay casting choice. I mean, it wouldn't have been my first pick.
Probably not everyone's first.
All I can say is that I understand why people are upset by it, because let's be real. Like, can you name a big Japanese or Asian Hollywood actor right now?
Nope, no one can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it. It's just
so I understand where they're coming from. Yeah. So
just all I do is like I hope they make her look like Japanese, because it's like it's fine whoever you cast as long as they look, because if you just like change the ethnicity and she looks white, it just kind of like breaks the immersion.
Well, the whole point of Ghost in the Shell is that she is technically in an android body, and
yeah. So it's like fine, but
even though she is named Motoko Kusanagi, she's supposed to be ethnically ambiguous. Yeah, is the whole thing with her character. So I mean, I guess ethnically ambiguous means you're white.
You're white now, whitewashed boys.
Speaking of, I guess, anime, Tales of Zestiria
adapted into a show, a shitty game.
I can't really talk about Zestiria, so I mean that's That's on you.
Yeah, like I haven't even played it just because I've read so much about it, and it's just everything is just it is the most bland ass story with the most bland ass characters with the most terrible villain, and it's just a bad game. Like it looks good, and that's what brought me to. It's like, oh, it's very more open world than the other Tales and stuff, and then it's just like, oh no, the storyline is just awful and the characters just don't develop, and it's just a mess of a game, and it's just not worth if you're on the Tales. Like, even though I really like Tales, just don't buy stuff.
Okay, so speaking of Tales of Zestiria the Cross, as it is pronounced.
Yep.
Written with an X.
It's getting an adaptation. I don't know. Tales hasn't really been known well for their show adaptations.
I don't even remember any of those show adaptations.
They did one for Symphonia.
Did they do one for Symphonia?
Yep.
I remember.
I watched it. The ending was it was like Evangelion.
Oh.
Evangelion's like
the white room. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So did they have all the characters going to what's his name? Lloyd Irving. Congratulations, Lloyd.
No, it was just this slow slip off. It's just like, what's happening to us? Why are we losing colors and animation? It was just like, I don't understand what's happening, but apparently we're just like ran out of budget here, and it was just a weird fucking stupid
I remember hearing that Tales of the Abyss got an adaptation.
I think it did. I didn't
watch it, so
I think I remember seeing like the show, but I didn't actually watch it. I just know it's there.
Okay, so hype for Zestiria the X. The Cross.
The Cross.
Fuck,
the Exerd.
Fuck Japanese pronunciations of like. No, I'm just kidding. They're amazing. Okay, so complete side tangent. Wild Arms, how I really like.
Yeah.
Wild Arms.
Yeah.
So in America, they're just called Wild Arms 2, Wild Arms 3,
yeah.
Wild Arms 4, Wild Arms 5. But in Japan, they have like these super metal names for like the installments. So like Wild Arms 3 is called Wild Arms Advanced Third in Japan. Wild Arms 4 is called Wild Arms the Fourth Detonator. Wild Arms 5 is called Wild Arms the Vth Vanguard, as in V, the Roman numeral 5. Vanguard.
Oh my God.
Wild Arms XF.
Wild Arms Revelations.
Wild Arms XF is called Wild Arms XF still in Japan, but in katakana it's written Wild Arms Crossfire.
Of course. Crossfire Emblem.
No, just Crossfire.
Yeah,
fuck Crossfire Emblem. We said that before and we'll say it again. So speaking of JRPGs getting adaptations or whatever, something that I was initially, I guess, hyped for, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm not as hyped for is Kingsglaive Final Fantasy XV.
Whoa, you get the movie of the beautiful looking game. It looks fucking good.
Yeah, okay, the animation looks good, but it might just be like Advent Children where the animation is amazing.
Yeah. It's just, what the fuck is the story?
Tell me one thing that happens in Advent Children.
Colin fights Sephiroth.
Sigma disease or whatever the fuck.
I loved Advent Children just because its animation was good.
Yeah.
That's it. It's such a good animated film.
Yeah. And like Sean Bean playing King Regis in 15 is cool. Yeah. One thing that I didn't really feel going in was Cersei Lannister playing the female interest in Final Fantasy 15. Okay. She's playing Luna Freyet Fox or whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah, I feel like she's too old for the role because they're doing motion cap. She's doing motion capture for it too. So I mean,
yeah, motion capture.
I guess you can make her look younger. But yeah, I like in terms of vocal quality, I feel like she doesn't sound like anything like a high pitched Sora Mamiya type.
Yeah, she's not good. Yeah, the problem with high pitch.
Yeah.
You know who does like this isn't a transition or anything, but you know who like does well in like high pitch is like Stella Glow's like high pitched. The person who voices Popo, what's her name?
Probably I'm just gonna guess because I know that was dubbed in LA. I'm just gonna guess what's her name, Christy Mary Cabanos or Erica Mendez.
You're close. Christy Berry Komoda's voices Lizette, which is sort of high. But she's in there. Is
it Erica Mendez? Because like that's the other one I go to.
That's her. It's no. That's
Monica Rial.
Maya Uchida. Is that the?
That's obviously that's the Japanese voice. Cause
okay. No wait, where's the English? What the fuck? Okay, apparently we're just missing the English.
Oh, maybe like it was a uncredited voice.
Maybe uncredited. Who knows?
Maya Uchida also does the voice of Zero in Drakengard 3, so that's cool.
I would play Drakengard and care.
Girl with a flower in her eye. But yeah, that's a Square Enix thing. Can't wait for Nier Automata.
Just get on the hype train.
I like how complete side tangent. I like how douchebag chocolates Drakengard 3 review was just basically go play Nier. So yeah, hype for Kingsglaive. I mean, it looks beautiful. All the screenshots look beautiful.
Oh, it's Stephanie
She? Okay.
She.
Anyway, hype for Kingsglaive. I'm not.
No.
Yeah. All I can say, it just looks good. It just looks good. And lastly, we've got a new Mega Man cartoon.
I hate the main character design.
To me, it's okay.
I don't like it. I think it's fucking.
And we've got like a little mini plot synopsis.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, this kid lives in a future city. Only he's not actually a kid; he's a robot.
Oh my god!
And he turns into Mega Man.
Who could have known?
I can't wait for like the Zone Tunes animation for this.
Yes, I can picture the porn now.
Cause that's
Robo dick thrusting.
Cause that's what all American done cartoons lead to. It's just Zone.
Well, you have to admit, she does a really good job of replicating the style.
Yeah,
really
fair enough.
Shout outs to Zone Time. Oh my god, we've actually gotten to that on our podcast. Yes, Zone.
Yeah. So I like the main character design. I think it's gonna be decent overall because like Capcom is like watching over it.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is that this isn't the way Mega Man should come back.
Not with a new TV series.
We want a game, guys. And we don't want Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9, yeah. Like, we don't want Mighty Number 9.
I feel like Mighty Number 9 has become like a how-to on how not to do a Kickstarter.
Reboot.
Or a Kickstarter, rather.
Yeah.
Because, like, think about how many times that game has been delayed, and now everyone's just mad.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, it's like Project Phoenix.
Fuck. Let's not talk about Project Phoenix. Alright, we'll be back in a bit, I guess.
For our last part, I guess.
Yep.
Settle transition.
And we're back, but not in the way that you will probably like.
Yeah, we're just back to actually say, yeah, we're going.
Yeah, basically because we recorded our news section, and then we recorded the, what do you call it? The week section.
And we covered AN and that.
Yeah,
so.
and that was pretty extensive.
Yeah.
And the problem is that we're tired-ish,
yeah.
And we have to kind of get going other places.
To the final day of AN.
Yeah, so yeah. This is the end.
This is the end. And yeah, this is just a kind of ending of, yes, there is an ending to this podcast.
Yeah, we're not going to end like Evangelion with like, congratulations, Shinji. We want to give you a proper ending. Yeah. So this is your proper ending.
So hope you enjoy this podcast.
Yeah, I guess this is Aaron signing out.
This is Colin sleepily walking away from the table.
Okay, you do that.
I'll do it.